Guys, this might be the hardest video that I make. I'm pretty sure Nikon has shot themselves in the foot because there's no way possible that you can go wrong with picking any of these Nikon cameras. And I never thought I'd be saying that. I tested out Nikon's top 3 cameras. We're talking about the Z50 Mark II, the Z5 Mark II, and the big beefy boy, the Z8. And between these 3, I feel like within your workflow, which one you're trying to get into, which one do you actually need, you can't really go wrong with any of them. What's going on, guys? It's Brandon with Trailer Media, and we're at Rockbrook Camera today discussing what Nikon camera is the best amongst their series. And spoiler alert, all of them are fantastic. All right, we're starting out with the Nikon Z50 Mark II. Listen, I did not realize that this camera was gonna have this much power in this small of a box. I mean, you couldn't have convinced me that with this 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens, this is the best APS-C camera that you can buy. Listen, this is shooting 4K 60. 30 frames a second, 11 megapixels. It's a 20 megapixel camera. If you're just starting out and you want to learn like a whole new camera system, this is overkill. Like you can do professional work by this point. In fact, I could easily take this job as a B camera for professional work. If you work in marketing, doing social media, matter anywhere, like this is ideally one of the best cameras you can't go wrong with. And of course, one of my favorite things, pop-up flash. For you to get a camera at this megapixel shooting these photos at a pop-up flash and this video capability, like, where's the flaws here? Where's the flaw? Nikon, how are you making this good of a camera in this body, this size? Like, this is crazy. This does have one card slot, just standard SD card. We don't have a full HDMI port. We got a micro HDMI port, and that this does not have any in-body stabilization. And of course, being the fact that it's APS-C, the fact that you're in low light situations, it's not gonna be better than something that may be full frame. But in all honesty, this is easily probably the #1 camera I could recommend to almost anybody. And I am a Sony person. I'm shooting on a Sony FX2 right now, but for the fact that I will recommend this over almost anything else that I know, this camera comes in under $1,200 at like $1,150. Like, again, I cannot recommend this camera enough. If you are just starting out, you are in social media, you are trying to get photos for your job, you want to get started in photography, you want to do some light professional work, this is your camera. Or if you're already doing professional work and you need to bring a B camera, easily recommend this one. Now it's time to talk about the big brother. We're talking the Z5 Mark II. Now, you heard me talk about the Z50 Mark II. You heard me talk about how incredible the camera is for APS-C. You're really getting a step above. We've got a full frame lens, so we're doing much better in low light. This comes with IBIS stabilization. This also can shoot at 30 frames a second. The incredible aspect to this is not only is this full frame, not only is this shooting at 30 frames a second as well, but the fact that it is 24 megapixels. And when it comes to the video side, you're shooting at 4K 60 and you can shoot 4K 30 in RAW. Now, for those who've never messed around with N-Raw, N-Raw is Nikon's raw, like S-Log footage, C-Log footage, and allows you to manipulate the colors and gives you more color science when you're in post. So here's the thing about the Nikon Z5 Mark II. This fact that I'm pretty sure this might be the #1 or the #2 seller in Rockbrook when it comes to full frame cameras on Nikon. This is the everyday. This is great for somebody who is doing professional work, who is ready to upgrade, which honestly, if you're upgrading from here, like you're really just looking for better low light performance at that point, in all honesty. Like you're looking at maybe a little bit more video capabilities and you're looking at low light performance because this is just an incredible hybrid camera. Being able to shoot 4K 30 RAW is just a really nice feature, especially when you are bringing in more video work into your flow. Like this is one of the best hybrid cameras I can pick. All right, now it's time to talk about the baddie, the biggest deal on the planet in the Nikon family. We talking about the Nikon Z8. Listen, this is not a camera. This is a tool for people who are high-end professionals. I'm talking about, this is the camera that you're using for high-end production. We're talking editorials, we're talking high-end wedding photography. We are talking about this is actually your full-time job. If you're doing full-time content, full-time photography, full-time videography, this is the ultimate hybrid that I don't think you could probably ask for a better one. We are talking 8K 60. That already in itself is a beast in the video. You thought shooting 30 frames on these last 2 cameras was crazy? This bad boy can shoot 20 frames, 45 megapixels raw, and can shoot 120 frames a second at 11 megapixels. Look, when I tell you shooting 120 frames a second in photo is just, it's something different. The very first time I did it, I, first of all, had no idea how much it was gonna take up on my card. Like I didn't miss a second, I can tell you that much. And combing through that is like, you're grabbing every single second. without a doubt. And combine that with the high shutter speed, I mean, you shooting professional basketball, professional football, any professional sport possible. You're not missing a single thing on the planet. Nothing could prepare me for what type of photography I was doing with this. This weekend, I took this bad boy out to shoot a fundraiser. This was a golf tournament for a local baseball team. And when I tell you that this bad boy caught just every beautiful second, like I loved it. The fluidity of the photos, just insane. And I don't even think I shot the full 120. I think I shot it at 60 frames. And even that is just insane. Not to mention the fact with the pre-release capture, like you're not missing a single. Who I don't recommend this for is the person who's just like, oh, I need a camera, or we're gonna do traveling. Like, this is professional at the highest level. This is a camera that I'm not gonna tell everybody to get. In fact, there's very few people I'm telling to get. But when you're talking about that you are doing high level work, I'd say even editorial work. I mean, if you watched our recap, we've had professional photographers who shot for National Geographic who walk around with this camera. There's a reason why they trust it. There's a reason why it's the most reliable for them. There's a reason why Nikon might create some of the greatest cameras I've ever seen on this planet, especially for the price point. This camera comes in right under 3,500 bucks and it's worth every dollar and then some. You can't go wrong. Now, as a bonus camera to talk about here, this is the Nikon Z6 III. This is the little brother to the Z8 and the bigger brother to the Z5 Mark II. Now, the Z6 III, I used to actually have a Z6 III. And the only reason why I switched it was because I shoot Sony primarily. The Z6 III is almost everything in the Z8 minus a couple features. I mean, this bad boy is still shooting 120 frames a second at 11 megapixels, full frame, 24 megapixels, a great in-body stabilization, partial stack sensor shooting 6K at 60 frames a second, N-Raw, okay, check me out, a 4,000 nit viewfinder. This is honestly if the Z8 had a baby. If I said that the Z8 is Nikon's #1 hybrid camera, this is #2. If you wanted to play around with some of the stuff that's inside of a Z8, but you didn't want to spend Z8 money, here. When it comes to the Nikon family, I actually don't think you can make a wrong choice. And I don't say that lightly. Like, you really can't go wrong with any of these cameras, between all of them, between the Z50 Mark II. Whether you're an entry-level photographer, you're just starting out and creating content, or you are moving from the DSLR world and you're coming into the mirrorless, but you still want to be able to have something that is, you're not missing out. You're not making any sacrifices with the Z50 Mark II. That's like without a doubt. Or you said, hey, I want to move in full frame. And one of the cool things about moving into Nikon is that they have adapters. You're able to use your old Nikon lenses from your DSLR collection. Or my favorite thing is that you can add a Megadapt adapter to your Z-mount Nikon cameras, and that opens you up to the E-mount lenses within the Sony world. So being able to use Sony lenses, whether it's Sigma, whether it's G-Master, that's an incredible feature. Like that's what makes it really hard to not recommend Nikon, is that you have so many lens options. When it comes to buying into a camera family, that's one of the things that you have to think about quite often is, what is your lens options? How much are lenses? Not only does Nikon have great in-family lenses, meaning that all of Nikon's Z-mount lenses are absolutely incredible, but if you do have lenses from an older generation or a different family like the E-mount series, then you're able to, you win. What are you gonna do? Like, you can't lose. Like, this is incredible. And that's why I said, when it comes to Nikon, you can't lose. This Z8 is just legendary. It's a monster. It's the best. It is literally one of the best cameras I have ever seen. The work that comes out of the Z8 is literally made for National Geographic. I've seen it firsthand. It is work that it almost doesn't seem real. And what's not real is how great of a deal you get with the Z6 III. This camera does every single thing that the Z8 does at a fraction of the price. When it comes to Nikon, you really can't go wrong. And Nikon has really made a stronghold in the camera game. I don't think Nikon knew that they were going to be this massive juggernaut when it comes to their Z series and what it does with the other competitors. Listen, I love my Sony. I think Canon's amazing, but Nikon is without a doubt my #1 recommended camera family to start with, to get into, to any of the above. Like, without a doubt, not only is it an easy family to recommend just out of simplicity's sake, you are getting way more bang for your buck, and it adds into your workflow in an incredible way that makes it almost seamless. And Nikon's so easy to use, I can hand any one of these cameras to anybody and know that they're going to be getting an incredible shot. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're in Omaha and you don't believe me, by all means, come up to Rockbrook Camera, test out the Nikon series, Figure out which one is best for you. Figure out which one fits your hands the best. Do you need something that's light and real easy to travel? Or do you need something that's big, bad, and ready to go? At Rockbrook Camera, we got you covered. I'll see you guys in the next video.